Josh Green here for Tungsten Tales. Delighted to be joined by Bo Greaves. First time in a couple of months. Bo, an incredible weekend on the women's series. How was the feeling of winning four tournaments in a row on the PDC Women's Series?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Obviously, a massive achievement for myself. Really, really happy and proud and said, and like I said, I just did what I normally do, and I enjoyed it, and the wins came.
Mm. Is it very much the key for yourself, just enjoying it? You've obviously taken your career at your own pace, and at the moment, is still enjoyment really the main thing for yourself?
Yeah, I've always said, obviously playing darts now for 8 years, and I said if I stopped enjoying it, I would stop playing. And I swear by that. I think that's the best way to play darts is through
Mhm.
enjoyment. And yeah, I would never have it any other way. And I think anyone who takes it too serious or tries too hard and you just struggle. So
Mm.
just be nice and chill, I think is the best way.
Yeah. Was it a big decision for you going over to Hildesheim and trying the women's series? We know you'd done a couple of events before, but I think lots of people were wanting to see you on it. Did it feel like a big decision?
I think before, obviously, people were wondering if I was going to do it or not, and I just didn't feel ready at all, and I wasn't too fussed. And but it just sort of came to Germany one was came around, and that was the first one to qualify for the match play. And I thought, oh, I'll just give that one a go and see if I like it, I'll do more. If I don't, then I won't do any more. But it was just sort of, I just felt as if I wanted to do it, and I thought that was enough to sort of just go and see what it was like.
Okay. And what was the experience like for yourself? Because we know that PDC setup is very different to what you're used to on the WDF or the other amateur tournaments that you play.
Yeah, it was different, but it was sort of a lot better in a way. It was yeah, I enjoyed being in that little like box type thing and just being concentrating on my game. Obviously, WDF there's a lot more distractions. To be fair, it's not as set out like that, but it's one of them got to get used to it. And I think obviously playing so much darts I did on that weekend, I think I did fine.
Mm. And that's the thing as well. I mean, even if you are to lose in the first or second round of tournament one, on those weekends you've got four tournaments. You're not going to be wasting your time going over to them. Is that another thing for yourself? You get to play a lot of darts over the weekend.
Yeah, obviously it helps. Like I say, I think because that was my first one back after a few years, I did want to play a lot and sort of get used to it. But yeah, there were long days, but it was enjoyable. It's a good standard and it's ran really well, and everyone's really nice. So it's sort of just the same, but just everything looks different, really. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was enjoyable, and I look forward to the next ones.
And how happy were you with the way you played? Obviously, the four victories is absolutely incredible, but just the performances you showed, constantly hitting those sort of high 80s, creeping into the low 90s averages. That's something that we haven't really seen a player do for quite a while. Are you happy with your game there?
Yeah, I didn't really think about my averages too much. Normally, I'll come off and I'll sit back to the table, and Paul James will say, "Oh, you had a 90 there or an 88," and I go, "Oh, it didn't feel like it. I've never been too bothered. I'm just more focused on winning." But like I say, they're a bonus. Like after your game, you think, "Yeah, I played well," and you can keep going in the tournament, and you know that someone's gonna have to play better than that to beat you. So yeah, they definitely help.
We mentioned Mikuru Suzuki just off camera. I mean, she played a terrific weekend of events, but you were really her nemesis throughout the weekend. I think without you, she would have probably had a couple of titles under her belt. How well did Mikuru play, and how much did she push you over the weekend?
Oh yeah, obviously Kira is brilliant. She's not a two-time world champion for nothing. Um, but I think I just had a bit more luck than probably. I think the finals we played were a really good standard, and obviously probably could have gone either way with a bit more luck. But yeah, she's brilliant, and it's never an easy game. Obviously, playing a final as well, playing Makuru is not the easiest game, but yeah, it was hard. But it was one of them games where I just sort of played. I was very just relaxed against her. I think and I think that's why I sort of obviously come out on top on them. But like I say, you never know when playing Mikuru, so it could go either way.
Mm. You mentioned the women's world match play earlier. Is that something that's very much a target now for yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously watching it this year was good, and like I say, it's a stepping stone, and it's the right step forward for ladies darts. It was good, and obviously I think any lady who watched it should want to be there, and it's one of them things where you want to be left behind type thing. You want to get in with it straight away. You don't want to leave it any longer, and I would, yeah, I'd love to be there next year. I think I've got a good start on it,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm really looking forward to obviously just keep playing them and then seeing what else can pop up maybe.
Yeah. Was there any part of you watching in July, watching the first world match play that thought, I could have been there this year? Or was it a case of, you know what, just keep it slow and we'll be there next year?
No, when I watched it, it was more of I just like watching ladies darts, like, and obviously
Mm.
that being that you don't want to miss that. But I wasn't really jealous or anything. I just sort of thought at time I wasn't ready at all to play them sort of games. And but like I say, just watching it and I think, oh, I'll just do it next year because it was going to be obviously be done again next year as well. So I just thought, yeah, I'm not going to dwell on that, missing that too much, and then just move on to maybe
Mm.
getting in there myself next
Mm.
year.
Now I have to mention the sort of conversations I say that have come up on Twitter recently. I mean, how do you deal with something like that? Because you're still very young, you're a world champion in the WDF. How do you deal with critics like that? Because it must be very difficult at times.
Yeah, I think everyone sort of gets more than others or less, but it's one of them things where you just got to deal with it. And like I say, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Whether or not people want to say it or not is different. But like I say, it's one of them things where they'll probably get worse. The more better you do, it's just jealousy, I think, at the end of the day. And yeah, I'm not too bothered. I've got a lot of family members who'll stick up for me. So,
Hmm.
but it's one of them things where I'm not too fussed. But
Yeah.
yeah, you can't get away from them, can you? So
Hmm. I'm sure you've got, I mean, you mentioned your family there, and I'm sure you're still getting plenty of great support. You mentioned Paul James, obviously Dieter is someone you've been close with. It's important to have the right people around you, isn't it?
yeah, obviously I've known Dee now. Help just to have a laugh and stuff. But like I say, sometimes you'll have them. I went through a bad patch, and people stick by you. You know who's going to be there for you, and like I say, it's just nice to have them people to rely on
Yeah.
sometimes.
And just fine. I mean, what's next on the calendar for yourself? Where are we going to be seeing you next on the darting circuit?
Um, I don't know. Just the British Open's on. England. I'll be playing for England. I'm looking forward to that in Spain for the Up Cup. But other than that, it's just what I normally do. All the stuff same year,
Mhm.
going away with my sister and that, and yeah, just keep going and enjoying it. And then before you know it, Lakeside will be back, and it'll be looking forward to that instead.
Looking forward to defending the title.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I don't know when it's going to be on. It's going to be in January or April, so like I say, but yeah, it's one of them things where that'll be hard, obviously, but a good challenge, I think, for myself. And obviously, if I do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't. It's one of them in it.
Yeah, it's the right attitude to have. Well, thank you very much for your time, Bo. Really appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon.
Cheers, Josh. Thank you.